Ken Murray says, mistakes I have made in the past is not spending more time in Queensland on a regular basis.
Ken, I love it. Fantastic.
Ken actually messaged me during the week actually talking about the whole idea about, spending, 4 or 5 weeks in Queensland every winter and getting away from the South Coast. So, interesting one for him.
Why not? And particularly in Ken's business, I would imagine, and Ken not knowing you, but I'd imagine that your sales would be slower in winter. So what a wonderful time to escape and come to North Queensland. I know that my biggest client is in the pool care game, and similar for them. They have a natural slowdown over the winter months, so they're all taking holidays in warmer spots right about now.
Yeah, absolutely. He said he is working on changing that in future.
Good on you, Ken.
I know he's put it out there to the world already. And that's what we talk about a lot, putting it out there to the world.
Yeah.
Once you do that, you start to move towards that direction.
It's intention, right? It's intention. And not only is it intention, when you put it here on social media, then we can remind you, Ken, on a regular basis. And obviously I see you having beers with Luke down at Coolangatta, etc. As we've got all the bikes riding up
we picked the spot where all the motorbikes park. Mistakes.
Another mistake.
Mistakes.
We're up to 103 for the day. Okay,
oh my
what's
God.
Hayden saying?
Hayden, our business slowed down, but it's given me time to think. And also time to spend more time with family.
Exactly.
So it's all good. So it's where you take those positive things out of negative situations.
Well,
and there's not too many people are doing that right now. It's like, what is the good that's come out of it? And people, they're obviously on the news and whatever, they're talking about people spending more time with family, people being at home. But they're not reflecting on that deep, and I guess that financial stress is overpowering the time that people are able to spend with family.
Yeah, but again, so Hayden's right, and I did a presentation earlier this week. In fact, you were there, and I talked about that every situation has both a negative side and a positive side. And so coronavirus is incredibly negative, and not for one moment do I downplay the severity of it, the health issues, the economic issues. It's dreadful. But like Hayden said, what it's enabled a lot of people to do is have time. And as a business coach, one of the biggest excuses I get from my clients around not having done something is I have no time, right? Well, that's now a BS excuse because we've got an enormous amount of time. It's how do we spend that time? That's the opportunity. In regards to financial stresses, and I go through my own. I went through a very serious situation there, a couple of months ago. But it's again all about, you sit and worry about the financial stress. Well, it's not solving the financial stress, right? You've got to think about, okay, well, it is what it is. You are where you are. Whilst it mightn't be great, it is what it is. What can I do about it? I've got to keep moving forward. If I've got financial stress, you've got to find solutions to that financial stress. It's that simple. I know it's not easy, but it's that simple as in a concept. Don't think about the financial stress. Think about what you need to do to move forward.
Well, there's a lot of people making financial mistakes out there. That's a big one, and I guess that's what's putting a lot of stress on people. David says, good morning. Ken said, I reached the Gold Coast. Awesome. And good morning.
The Gold Coast. So 3 feet from gold. So he's reached the gold. Ken, I love it. I got it.
I didn't get it first up.
Yes.
I'm just reading through the comments, and Ken
he's got his 3 feet. He's
over the top like Stallone.
He's on gold. Good on you, Ken.
Go, Ken. Cheers with beers. Nothing better than a coldie on the
Goldie.
Ken,
you're on fire. Fantastic.
Mate, I got to get him on for maybe a Sunday mindset session with Ken.
Well, Queensland, we could do it. We could get all of us together. Yes. There you go. Next week we'll do that. We'll
next
make that
Sunday,
happen.
Kenny.
We'll make that happen.
Might have to get him to drive up to Brisbane or something. Okay, let's get into the topics.
Sorry.
So we're about 20 minutes in, 12 actually. So the first one that we want to talk about is about, well, the whole idea today is about, do you love making mistakes?
Yeah.
The first one, is it important, Tony, to make mistakes?
Yes, it is. And quite simply, if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. It's that simple.
Well, you're not living, are you?
You're not living, right? You're sitting on your couch watching Netflix, right? And so it's all about...
Well, that's a mistake.
But
it's a bad mistake.
Absolutely, but it's all about you're going to make mistakes. Whenever you try something new, you will always make mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes because mistakes equals growth, and growth equals learning, and it's all about constantly moving in a forward direction and putting yourself out there. And like even this morning here on live TV or live video, we've made an enormous number of mistakes just in the last 15 or 20 minutes.
I try to show you guys my Gary Vee shoes, my new ones.
Yeah.
And I kicked his phone out of his
He
hand.
did. And here's the thing.
Mistakes.
So my hands are that numb. I don't know if it hurts or not. So I can't feel it. I can't feel it yet. So.
Might have a broken wrist or something.
I may do.
dangerous. We don't have compensation or workers' comp for this or anything like that. And
No, we don't.
insurances.
No.
Hayden says there's two types of money worries: too much and not enough. Everyone has money problems.
Yeah, and it's all about people tend to focus on
Your
complaining about
relationship about money is the big one.
Well,
People don't get the relationship they have with money.
yeah, because it comes from our parents, it comes from our teachers, it comes from our friends. We're told as kids that, money is the root of all evil, and so when that's constantly ingrained
wrong
into
one.
that, no, I get it, but that becomes a limiting belief for people, right?
So
And
what's the true line or true quote around that?
well,
Do you know?
No, I don't know. but-
Okay, it's the love of money.
Well, there you go.
Is the root of all evil. It's not money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money is the root of all evil.
True.
So that's, missing that one word changes the whole context of that situation.
But I agree with that. But also, money is a byproduct, is an outcome, is an output from doing something you love doing. And I had this conversation this week with someone because they were wanting to do something purely based on the money. And I'm like, oh my God, So, and I see it in property, right? This happens all the time. People will look at the Forbes rich list and they'll see in the top 20, most people have got property in the things that they do. And they'll think, well, I'm going to do property because I want to be...
Yeah, but how did they do it?
No, I get it.
Right? They just know that they've got to get in property. So I understand that. I get that. I actually use that as an example why people should get into property. But it's then how you actually transact that property that really counts to elevating your wealth.
Yeah, so absolutely. But the thing is that people want to go from where they are to the Forbes rich list, but in between,
In 5 seconds.
Correct. In between, as you and I both know, there is toil and there is ups and there is down and there is heartache and there's wins and there's losses and all sorts of things along the way. But it's just people go, hey, that's where they're making money. I'm going to make property in my wealth creation vehicle without really going, do I actually love doing it? Do I love the journey of it? Because it's a journey. And you wore a shirt the other day, your patience shirt, because that's what it's all about. It's about patience, patience, patience. And if you don't love the thing that you're doing, you will never, ever, ever achieve your outcome. You have to love what you do.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of great comments coming through here. Peter says, great topic, and also says, growing up, we are conditioned not to make mistakes, and mistakes are bad.
Yeah.
For example, in school exams, we grow up having to undo that.
Oh, it's 100%. It's 100%.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I put a post up during the week about it, about making mistakes. Something around, I want to make more mistakes or something like that. So Peter might be able to refresh my memory on that one, because it's something that I wrote on a post as well. Yeah. Hayden also says I might actually post that comment or that post in the comments below after this video. Hayden said the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil, not religious. Luke would say I am spiritual. Yes, okay. I feel like I'm spiritual as well.
Okay.
Moving towards a more spiritual path actually. And David says when money made, give some back to the community is a good thing. He's still on that, isn't he?
Sure. No.
Good on you, David.
I get his intention, right? And so, absolutely. And that's one of the things. It's all about being philanthropic. And you see that the likes of Gates and Zuckerberg and all these people are, giving back as well. So it's terrific when you want to be able to do that. But again, you make the money because you love the thing that you're doing. It's got nothing to do with the money. It's got to do with loving that journey, loving that task, loving that job, loving that business, loving that thing, and the money will come. Why? Because when you love something, every morning when you wake up and your feet hit the floor, you can't wait to get into doing that thing. And unfortunately, the majority of people don't get to experience that. And I'm very fortunate where I get to experience that in my own coaching business. And I had this conversation with someone earlier this week where even though I'm involved in property, I don't love property. I'm not like this guy who loves property. I've got other friends who love property. I like property, but what I discovered on my journey is that I love being able to coach people and help them move forward.
And property sometimes is the way as well.
Yeah,
with that, the coaching that you do.
Absolutely. Yep.
Samantha, good to have you on.
Hello.
It's probably been a little while since Samantha has come on, but thank you for joining again. Agree with Tony. Thanks.
Thank you, David. Thank you, mate.
Our second topic we want to talk about is how much time are you spending on making mistakes?
Well,
how much time?
Well, I hope we're spending a lot of time. And because the reality is that if you're spending a lot of time on making mistakes, that means you're out there trying different things, test and learn. But But here's the thing with that. When you keep making the same mistake, that's problematic, right?
Then you're a nutter.
I said it this morning, right? So it's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And so it's all about make the mistakes, but learn from it and move forward, and don't keep making the same mistake over and over, because that is you're not taking the lessons.